Do it. Make your dreams come true. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just do it.
One of the things Marquet realizes in most organizations, the people at the top have all of the authority, but none of the information. And the people who are actually performing the jobs have all the information, but none of the authority. And in most organizations, they try to get the information up. No, push the authority down. This is what creates great organizations. And what that does is it makes us feel that our work and our lives have value. We want to be given the opportunity to make mistakes. We want to be given the opportunity to work hard and have responsibility. It feels good to work hard, to have responsibility for something. If somebody else, we've all had the experience, sometimes junior, sometimes senior in our jobs. I can remember in my own career, I used to have a boss who did the opposite. And I would write something, and she would cover it in red pen and tell me to make her changes. And so I'd go make her changes. I'd come back, and she'd cover it in red pen and tell me to make her changes. And at some point, I stopped caring about the quality of my first draft because I knew she was just going to change it all to whatever she wanted anyway. No longer felt valuable or valued. As opposed to telling me the macro issues she had. This is not clear. I know what you're trying to say, but it doesn't come across. Try again. Responsibility, accountability. I remember the first time that somebody gave me accountability. I had to produce something that I had to send out to the client. The norm was to show it to my boss before it went out to the client. Except this time, he decided to leave early. And I said, well, do you want me to email it to you before it goes out? And he goes, no. Good night. Make sure it goes out tonight. Bye. Now, I knew what good was, and I knew what had to be done, and guess what? He was fine. And I worked hard. I wanted to do it right. One of the things great leaders do is they allow us to try and fail. And one of the things Marquet talks about is the importance of training and the importance of practice and the importance of small projects. Because you can punch a hole in the side of the ship above the waterline, and you fix it. It costs some money, whatever. But you do that over and over again so that you don't punch a hole in the side of the ship below the waterline. In training, metrics are supposed to go down because you want people to try hard and fail and find out where the line is. In combat training, you want them to get shot because you want them to find where getting shot happens. You don't want to outscore everybody else in training. It's ridiculous, right? This is the time to push the limits. Or give people little projects that at the worst, think about what we do for a living, right? Nobody here is looking for a cure for cancer or working in an ER. The worst thing we can do, the absolute worst, is lose a multi-billion-dollar corporation some money. And not enough that will get noticed. And if it is enough to get noticed, it won't put you out of business. Like seriously, death and destruction and Armageddon are nowhere to be seen. That's the worst. And so when we have leaders that understand that and allow us to try and fail and understand that if we screw it up, it's okay, the ship's not going to sink, now try again. Let's sit down and talk about maybe what you would like to do differently next time. I want you to learn. I want you to try again. Kind of like what we do with our kids. And that's the final point. The closest analogy I can give to you about what leadership is parenting. Think about what makes a great parent. You know? First of all, not having kids is a better life. You get a bigger house, you take nicer vacations, you can get the car you want, not the car you have to get, right? Much more sleep, right? Yet we choose, for some reason, to have children. We choose to make these sacrifices because in time, it's kind of worth it to see this little thing grow up and make something of themselves that we got to look after. It's kind of worth it. The problem with leadership, the problem with parenting, is they're both like exercise, is they cannot be measured in small, discrete chunks. I can give you a compelling presentation about the importance of exercise and it'll change your life and improve the quality of your life and help you live longer. And you'll believe me and you'll go to the gym and you'll come back and you'll look in the mirror and you will see nothing. But you go the next day and you will come back and you will look in the mirror and you will see nothing. And worse, you're in pain. And so you have no metrics to show there's any value to anything I've told you, so you stop. But if you can stick with it, after 3 months, you look at an old picture of yourself and you're like, I can't believe I ever looked like that. I can't believe it. Leadership and parenting the same. You have no idea if you're being a good parent on a daily basis. None. In fact, sometimes you're a bad parent. But you kind of have a sense of what it should be, and you stick with it. And there are these little glimmers that you get that make you proud that you're kind of doing the right thing and that the sacrifice is worth it, like the little things that the kids do. But you won't actually see a return on your investment for like 30 years. You know, some of our parents are still waiting for us. Right?